Right, welcome to Daylesford Market Garden, Midsummer Days, Pest and Disease Roundup for Agroecology. Okay, so most of the problems we're suffering right now are from physical attacking pests. We're talking jackdaws, pigeons, rabbits. To prevent those beasts, we will use Wonder Mesh, a heavy duty mesh which doesn't get blown away by the wind too much, and that will sit on crops like our strawberries, which are being more and more noticed by the jackdaws at the moment. It will sit on crops like the mange too, and young brassicas as well, otherwise the pigeons will pay an interest and start trashing those as well. For those pests which are smaller, such as the flea beetle, we will use horticultural fleece. You'll see behind me a very young crop of salad brassicas, things like radish, mizuna, frills mustard, rocket, which we use in our mixed leaf salad, which are big cash earner in the market garden. We'll keep that religiously covered with fleece for the duration of its life to stop the physical predation by the flea beetle, which basically turns brassica leaves into tea bags. And then as far as any other pest and disease that I'm worried about right now, we're fairly resilient. This time of year there aren't many crops that are big. When crops are big, they get stressed and then they can succumb to pest and disease. They can succumb to the interests of black fly on broad beans, or the cut flower roses. They have green fly when they get stressed. But we're not actually suffering from much stress at the moment because we're maintaining a good watering regime. We're maintaining all that kind of cultural practice, such as defoliation of side shooting in tomatoes and cucumbers. We're basically maintaining good weeding and watering so the crops aren't stressed. It's only when they get really stressed and dry out they start to succumb to fungal diseases such as mildew or rust. And then sometimes we can tolerate rust and mildew. For example, we've got a stand of garlic which will be ready for pulling in 2 weeks' time, and that's starting to senesce, and as it dries out, we're in quite a dry period right now. It hasn't really rained for a couple of weeks and we're having middle of the day temperatures well into the 20s, and it's coming to rust, which will slowly destroy the foliage. But as long as it doesn't take over completely, we can tolerate that over the next 2 weeks. So you tolerate elements of disease such as rust. It is a problem if you get it in early leeks. So in early leeks, if you get rust before they finish growing, it will spread to the rest of the leek crop, and you kind of want to remove those rusty leeks. But I'm not worried about the garlic, because the rust on the garlic, which could also affect the onions, isn't going to pass on. We'll have them out of the way in 2 weeks' time anyhow. We are generally incredibly annoyed by jackdaws right now. They're over everything. The thing about corvids, for some reason, they give you a wide berth, leave you alone. Alright, I'm not coming to bother you, there's nothing red to eat. Now they've noticed the odd strawberry, the odd red currant. They're all over the place. They're getting on the gooseberries even. They're kind of maliciously bored. All I can do is cover everything until in the fields round and about they start harvesting the barley, and then they'll all go and harvest. They'll follow the combine harvesters looking for dribbles of barley, and then I won't have to worry about the market garden looking like a mess of covers. It's very windy today, and that's a test for the covers because they start blowing off. So yeah, good luck with your growing this summer. Keep things stress free. That's my big piece of advice: watering and weeding.